Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I am your reader, Jay. This is going to be a general message for Gemini. It took me a second, I'm almost blank. Gemini in December 2019. Gemini had a little pop out here with the Five of Wands. You in a fight? You know, disagreement with someone? Not seeing eye to eye with someone? And yeah, it feels like some very strong tension. And they wanted me to use the word deliberate tension. So maybe someone is picking a fight with you, or you're picking a fight with someone with that Five of Wands, maybe. Who knows, though? That's just what flipped out there as we begin the reading. As we begin the reading video, whatever. Hi, Gemini. How are you? I hope you guys are doing well. Guys, welcome to December. Your video is a little bit late. I'm usually already out probably about a week or 5 days ahead of today, which is December 4th, so I apologize for how late this is, but, you know, I'm a regular human being. I have regular human being needs and moods and attitudes and responsibilities, so, you know, what can we do? What can we do, huh? Anyway, guys, welcome to December. Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, season's greetings, Happy Holidays, all that good stuff. Whatever you're doing in the month of December to celebrate festive holiday fun, I hope it is a good time. Spending it with relatives and friends and stuff like that, eating good food, opening up good presents. Even if they're not great presents, at least smile and say, oh, thank you so much, you know, whatever. But I hope your holidays are going well for you, Gemini. And Happy New Year as well, as that will be right after Christmas, yeah? Anyway, Gemini, here we are. Shuffled off camera. That is your main spread there. I will shuffle on camera now for your outcome and your overall energy. Once all the cards are out and they're lying face up on the table, that's when the reading begins. You can check in the description box below if you want to use the timestamp to jump ahead. That is what it's there for. Also down there is all the information you need if you want to get a personal reading with me. That is what it's there for. But if you have a question before you actually place an order, go ahead and feel free to email me at the same address and I'll answer you as soon as possible. And before I actually get your outcome out here, Gemini, just to announce, I will be doing my next live for the collective, meaning anybody can come, anybody can show up. It's not like a live specifically for a sign or anything like that. I'll be doing that after the new year, sometime in January. I have a lot of stuff on my plate for December, so I really can't do a live this month with you guys around the Christmas holiday. So look for me in January going live for the collective, okay? All right, let's get into it. Please show me Gemini's outcome for December 2019. Please show me Gemini's outcome for December 2019. Please show me. That one? Yeah, thank you. Bottom of the deck is the overall energy. It wasn't like an aggressive, like, stop or, like, disruption to the shuffle. So that's why I wasn't really sure, but they confirmed, so that's what we're going to take. Let's flip everything that came face down for you, Gemini, and let's see what's going on. All right, then. Got some heavy hitters here. Heavy hitters on the board. All right, guys, let's see what's going on for you. Please show me where Gemini is in December 2019. Please show me Gemini in December 2019. Please show me. Okay, we got it. We got it. All right, Gemini, coming into December, you come in with the Two of Swords. In thought, pondering, considering, really taking sort of a mental time out. With the Two of Swords, we have inflexible energy sometimes. We have indecisive energy, more so than inflexible. But in some of your cases, you're being inflexible. I'm going to say that. Some of you are being really stubborn. In other cases, you're just being indecisive and maybe even a little confused about something, or just general they're jumbling my words. Uncertainty about what to do next, or where to go next, or how to proceed. Yeah. Gemini, it feels like in some of your cases, you might be missing pieces of the puzzle. You might not have all the detail or all of the information that you need in order to make a sound decision or to make a qualified decision. In other cases, you have all the detail, all of the knowledge that you could have, or all of the information that is pertinent to making a decision, but you hold back and you withdraw, or you withhold actually, pulling the trigger, so to speak. I don't know why, in the case where you have all the information you need in order to make a qualified decision, why you would hold back. This is like a power play. Some of you, there's fear involved. Some of you, it's a timing issue. Maybe you're actually ready to make a decision, but something about, the time is just not right, even though you have all the information that you need, something like that. For those who don't have the pertinent information, or you are missing pieces, or you're kind of in the dark, like you see how this woman's sitting in, under the moonlight, very shadowy, right? Or very, it's not as colorful, right? So things are in the dark. For those who don't have the information, you're afraid of making a misstep, you're afraid of making the wrong choice, which makes sense and is quite fair. In other cases, I feel like it's just a matter of, if you ask the right questions or you ask the right people, you'll get the information that you need, but you resist doing that. There's something about, in general, for most of the Geminis that I'm connecting with right now, there's something in not choosing that is a power move, or is a move that you're most comfortable with. Power move, I'm feeling like negotiations, contractual negotiations, simply, signing on the dotted line, or transferring over of power, or some type of advancement. So like negotiations over a job, or if like you're in Hollywood or something like that, like you negotiate over like, contractual stipulations between a director and an actor, something like that. On a smaller, less career-oriented sense, this feels like the moment you make a choice or make a decision, Gemini, something becomes real, or something can't be taken back. Like this is you're really at a crossroads, many of you. And once you decide where to go, left or right, up or down, backwards or forwards, north or south, east, whatever you're choosing between, whatever you finally say, okay, I go with this option. Once that happens, the ball gets rolling down that path and there's no going back, which is, the thing that plagues most people, but particularly I find air signs to be in that I could do this, and you go down the pros and cons of what it is to choose option number one, and then you go down and you look at option number two, and then you go down the pros and cons of that, and you're like, you often oscillate or volley back and forth between which option do you really want. I find many times air signs get caught up in the act of deciding versus the action of deciding. Like the whole prospect of it's decided really can stifle you guys, or not stifle you, but trip you up, slow you down. Yeah. Once you make the decision, everything is usually pretty fine, and some of you regret your decisions, but like in the analogy of having a ball roll down the road or down the hill or something like that, once it's gone, it starts rolling, that's it, So that's what this feels like. It's like maybe because of fear, maybe because of a power play, maybe because it's just your process and this is how you normally go about making decisions and moving forward in your life. There's a deliberate, didn't I use that word? Deliberate pause, deliberate stop, deliberate inflexibility or indecision on your part. Some of you, it's like a plaguing feeling and like you literally don't know what to choose, and you're kind of, like I said, you're missing key information. But again, you could get that key information if you ask the right people, if you look at the right resources, or if you ask the right questions, you could find out the information that you need. So it's an interesting position to be in. I think that some of you are feigning, there you go, thank you. Some of you are feigning not having the power, the capability, the insight, or the know-how to get out of indecision, but you do. I don't know why you need to do that. I don't know why you need to tell people that. I don't know why you need to give off that impression, but that's what you're doing. You're giving off this impression that you don't know something, even though you know something. You give off the impression that you don't know what will happen if, even though you are pretty sure you know what will happen if. So it's kind of like playing the fool, playing the dummy. You're really pretending to not be able or capable or informed enough or whatever enough in order to make a decision. That's very interesting because it is a power play. This power play is to feign I don't have power, or I don't have the capability of doing XYZ, even though you're probably quite capable of doing it, okay? Now, what else is going on for you, Gemini? Let's see. Yeah, well, okay, so you know, but you don't know. So some of you, this is like some internal knowledge or esoteric knowledge or spiritual knowledge with the High Priestess right below you. Secondary major arcana for me, for Cancer. Other readers will attribute this to Pisces. You can read it either way. It's a general, but for me, it's Cancer. So some of you could be dealing with a Cancer or a Pisces, but you don't have to be. This particular High Priestess is very like on the nose with like the symbolism of what the High Priestess is all about. You see the book, it's from Alpha to Omega, right? You see between her eyes, her pineal gland has the yin and the yang, right? And she's got that crescent moon right where her collarbone might be. And she's looking dead at us. So she's communicating a lot, but look at her face. Her face is like deadpan, right? Her face is like very plain, like she's not super expressive. So there's a lot of knowledge within her with the book of knowledge right there, and the yin and the yang, meaning she has a balance between light and dark. She has a balance between feminine and masculine. She has a balance between negative and positive. All the polarities. She has this balance, meaning access to both. Yeah? Oh, is that it? Are you pretending that you don't have access to something even though you do? So in some cases that means you know a secret and you're pretending that you don't know a secret, which happens all the time in life, right? Somebody tells you something in confidence and you have to pretend like you don't know. So then a third person comes up and says, hey, did you hear what Jimbo said? And you're like, no, tell me. And then they tell you and you have to sit there and be like, oh my God, Jimbo. And it's like, I knew this. I've known this for weeks. I've known this for months. Only you're now finding out about it. It's like that. So in some of your cases, it's as simple as that. You know a secret that other people don't know, and you're pretending that you don't know. And it doesn't have to be a secret. There might be pertinent, like top secret information that you might know in terms of business or family secrets, you know? You know that baby ain't Charles's baby. You're sitting there like, Charles is not your baby. I know it's not your baby because she told me and she showed me, you know, some of you are sitting on something, and I don't think that you're, as much as I'm as much as I'm portraying that this secret is like eating you up inside. Many of you are not being eaten up inside by this secret that you're holding. And again, this doesn't have to be you, by the way. I feel it is you. It's a general. This energy can belong to you or someone else. You know, swap energies around as you need to. So I'm still going to say you, Gemini. But this could be someone that you're dealing with external to you. And they have a secret or they have knowledge of something that you don't know. And that could be the information that you want. And remember, see, that's why they're making me clarify this. Remember when I said under the Two of Swords, you need to ask the right person or you need to ask the right questions. That's what the High Priestess is about. The High Priestess has all this knowledge, all of this insight, but doesn't often speak, is not going to volunteer the information willy-nilly. You have to ask the right questions. So if you've been trying to get information out of somebody, ask the right questions. I don't know what it is. I don't know what you're supposed to ask them, but it's giving me this impression that if this is an external person for you, Gemini, you got to ask the right questions. Now, in terms of negotiation, you might be wanting, let's say you're negotiating a big time contract, right? And you want to see, 20% of the shares go here, and you want to see another 15% go here, and you want future stake in future I'm just using language that I hear on TV and shit. I did not go to school for business. Anyway, and you're just like having these hardball negotiations in your business world or your professional world. and people are resisting you, or they're coming back and they're countering you with like lower offers, or they're not giving you all the things that you have stipulated that you want in the contract. The thing about it is, you need to ask the right questions or ask the right person. So that's where you might go to someone who has more knowledge than you. The High Priestess has buku knowledge, ridiculous amount of knowledge, okay? All of the knowledge, alpha to omega, yeah? So you might want to get in with a professional, like a lawyer, a business lawyer, if you're in the music industry, a music lawyer, or entertainment lawyer, somebody who has the know-how, who can go in with you, alongside you as a partner or as an advisor or mentor, and go with you to these meetings, read over the contracts for you, something like that. Of course, you're going to have to give to get, so you might have to pay this person, you might have to promise them some cut of a profit, whatever it is. So either way, whether it's you or someone else, this High Priestess has a lot of vital information. Either she holds it, and I'm saying she only because there's a female there. It could be a man. You could be a man, Gemini, and watching this. It doesn't matter. But this High Priestess character holds a lot of information that, given the right price, given the right questioning, maybe even given the right circumstances or timing, would be quite beneficial to you. So you're withholding because either you already know and you have to pretend that you don't know, or you have to wait until the right time to reveal what you know, or you're holding back making a decision because you literally don't know everything and you need to get in touch with someone who knows, who is an expert in a field, who has insight into your situation, whatever. That's very interesting. Kind of feels a little soap opera-ish, or like drama. Like, I feel like potential drama exists between these two cards and how we've started off your reading here. Now, let's see what else is happening, because it's going to be a lot, I can tell you that. Yes, this information is damaging. Ooh. They're like, this information is damaging. Okay. 10 of Swords. This information is very sensitive. In terms of business, I'm using terms I don't really necessarily know if I'm using correctly, but this is sort of like insider trading kind of shit, or like you might know that somebody's being fired from a company and you might know this or that about their severance package, and so you go in trying to like immediately get their job, and I don't know, there's something here, I don't want to say that yet, but I feel like there's opportunistic, that's the better word, because I was going to say there's something manipulative here, and I'm like, Gemini is probably not, or you're not necessarily close to, you're not in a position, well, maybe some of you are, okay, they're like some, and they like twisted my head, and like, nope, some. So some of you could be, but in many of your cases, I don't feel you're in a position to have manipulated or influenced someone's hiring or firing, but you might be opportunistic when that transition happens. So if you hear 2 days in advance that, you know, Bill in finance is going to be fired and you want that position, or, you know, you want to be in position to be considered, you might preemptively go talk to Bill's boss and be like, hey, Bill's boss, so, you know, I kind of heard, you know, Bill won't be here in a few days. And that person could be the High Priestess. I don't know what you're talking about. Where would you have heard such a thing? Da, da, da. You know, and they might play it off. So anyway, this information that you have access to, that you hold within you, or that you're seeking, whatever angle you're coming at this from, Gemini, is damaging. The 10 of Swords traditionally is about backstabbing and, you know, betrayal, being left for dead, you know, overkill in some cases where something is painful enough already, but somebody goes and like sticks another knife in your back, even though you've got, you know, 10 or 9 already in your back. You know, they're like, let me get in on the action, and they come behind other people and sort of dogpile on your pain, something like that. And that could be here something about, you know, people really kicking another person when they're down, kind of is what I feel like. But more than anything, I feel this is personally damaging, in the sense of, I think some of you are in a crisis. Like, I mean, I don't know, that this is necessarily the word I would always use to describe it, but today, like, the picture of on this card is like giving me like chaos, like crisis and chaos. And I don't know, I feel like some of you have been going out of your mind trying to figure this situation out, trying to make a decision, trying to get information or enough information to make the right decision, and it's been plaguing your mind. Like, this is feeling like mental torture, mental crisis, mental chaos. This feels very much, you know, I'm seeing like that, you know, that scene in movies and TV shows where a police detective is in front of a cork board and they've got all the push pins in the cork board and all the strings attached, and they're working a theory out. They're working it out. Who's the killer? Who's the killer? And, like, you know, bits of evidence are up on the board. There's tons of coffee cups on the desks. They're smoking, 10 packs a day trying to figure this case out. This is what it feels like. You've been trying to crack the case, or someone around you is trying to crack the case, trying to figure out what is the correct route to take, what is the correct information, who are the people here that will help my case, who are the people that are hindering my case, is that witness credible, is that not testimony, but is the interview that we did with this person, you know, based on their alibi, you know, it's just like you're really trying to figure this thing out, and it's driving you crazy, or it's driving someone else crazy. The interesting thing is someone is nearby, it's either you or someone else, who has the inside knowledge, who has the absolute truth, or the most objective truth possible, but it's not necessarily being shared, or it's not necessarily being offered up. Again, you have to ask the right questions, you have to ask the right people, you have to pay a fair price. You know, the High Priestess as an archetype within the tarot doesn't ever really ask for much in exchange, but in reality, in the 3D world, you might have to grease some palms, either literally or, well, figuratively in terms of money, or in another way. You just might have to do someone a favor, and then they'll let you do this, or they'll give you this information. You see what I mean? I see. Basically a quid pro quo, okay, is what someone might need or be seeking in order to alleviate this Ten of Swords for you or someone else. This Ten of Swords is very stressful. This Ten of Swords is very panicked. And like I said, it's a crisis and it's chaos. And I feel like some of you exist in the Two of Swords, or excuse me, the Ten of Swords and the Two of Swords. Others of you exist in the High Priestess, and the Two of Swords and the Ten of Swords belongs to other people. Gemini, it's a general reading. You all can't be on the same path or be on the same side of the story. So you know your side. I'm going to try to keep it separate, or try to keep it, you know, my language is as close to making sense as possible, but no guarantees. Now, anything else with the Ten of Swords? I mean, and then also just the general feeling of being attacked, which I kind of was touching on a little bit about how people were dogpiling onto, in the traditional tarot, you get this idea that people have dogpiled onto somebody else's hurt, or kicking someone when they're down. I mean, these swords are coming in at all angles towards this person, trying to penetrate to them, trying to maim them or hurt them, right? So this is feeling, some of you feel attacked, or some of you feel pressured, some of you feel, again, I feel it's mostly a mental thing. Like, mentally you're feeling attacked on all sides. Or, since Swords also talks about communication, you could be, again, going over the details of a situation, going over the language of the contract, trying to figure out, okay, so they gave you a contract 2 weeks ago and it said this. Then they give you a new contract today, which has revisions on it, and you're comparing the differences, and you're just like, so, you know, the only difference you see is like, instead of it saying blah, 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 or blah, 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 it says blah, blah. In the new contract, it'll say blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. So it's just like, oh, so instead of an either or, they want a definite two-pronged element in the contract. You know, it's just like, that's what they sent me over. This contract is like 50 pages long, and that's the only thing they changed. And it's just like, you're like, are they trying to F with me? Are they trying to like screw with my head? Like what kind of like mental games? Like I said, towards the beginning, like negotiation, strategy, like people are being really meticulous and calculated with what they say to you, what they share with you, and or you're doing that with other people. Yeah, interesting. What else is happening, Gemini? What an interesting reading so far. It's very I don't know. It's interesting, I'll say that. Because yeah. Anyway, we'll skip that. Moving on, Gemini. What else is happening for you? So I feel, yes, thank you. With this Ace of Wands down here as your next card, I feel as though you have like this bright idea, or someone does. If it's not you, it's someone else. There's like a bright idea on how to fix the situation, how to get what you want, how to satisfy all parties, all people involved. I wouldn't say it's the worst idea. I think that it's coming from a place. If you're the Gemini or the person, whoever's watching this, if you're the person who lacks the insight, who doesn't have all the information, who is kind of in this stuck, inflexible, or incapable of making a decision spot, and then you have a bright idea, you have this sort of stroke of genius or this inspiration to do something differently, I'm a little worried about that. I'm a little worried about that because I feel it would be counterintuitive. I feel that it would be counterintuitive. I feel that whatever this is, and I hate to talk in such generalities, but if I'm honest with this here, that, and that, I'm like not allowed to know the details, just the general feel of the situation. So again, it could be big time negotiations over hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars in some of your cases. This could be about baby mama, baby daddy drama, going on in your hometown. This could be about, insider trading. It could be, gossip at school. Like maybe you're in high school or college, or you're in a frat or a fraternity and there's gossip abound. Who knows? There could be so many storylines here. But whoever has this bright idea, whether it be you or someone else, I would throw caution on that so hard, because I don't think it's coming from the clearest of mindsets, because it's blocked off by the Ten of Swords and the Seven of Swords, which we'll talk about in a moment. This Ace of Swords is sprouting up from a place of panic, distress, chaos, and confusion and crisis, as well as the things that we're going to discuss later in the Seven of Swords. This is reactionary. It's not a response. It's maybe vengeful. Okay, the fact that I said reaction versus response, and I feel similar to the positioning of the card. This is coming from a place of someone feeling backed into a corner, maybe forced to make a decision, okay? Because this is, they're all speaking to each other. Because this being in a corner is backed into a corner, same way that the Two of Swords is backed into a corner. And sometimes people get in those crossroads situations because other people or circumstances demand action, demand decisions. And sometimes it's about time. You have to make a decision by 12 o'clock on such and such a date, right? So it's 10 a.m. on such and such a date, and this person is like, I got a new idea. That's reactionary because you've held your tongue, or you've been incapable of making a decision, or incapable of coming to your own decision by this deadline. Now you have a new idea. So instead of, deciding on this situation, I got a great idea. How about I fake my own death? Like, I'm not saying that's literally what someone is thinking, but like, it's that kind of idea that is coming from a place of panicking over the original need to decide, the original need to choose. Yeah, this is not a healthy Ace of Wands. This is a plagued, panicked, flustered Ace of Wands. It's a last-ditch effort in some cases. It's a diversion tactic in other cases. Okay, there we go, diversion tactic. So, okay, you know that those moments in the suspense thrillers or like, you know, murder dramas or something like that on TV, or something like Scandal or How to Get Away with Murder, or shows like that where the main drama is happening over here, but somebody creates a diversion so that another character can slip in and like grab a piece of evidence and destroy it, or grab a piece of evidence and, like, you know, somebody goes onto a computer and like they alter the file, instead of, you know, the timestamp saying 12:55 p.m. it now says 12:55 a.m. You know, some shit like that. It's like that. I'm trying to introduce new energy, new ideas, new ways of behaving and acting towards a person or a situation that will avoid the original problem of needing to decide, of needing to choose, of needing to deal with what is pertinent, or what is the actual meat and potatoes of the situation. You're trying to distract somebody with a goddamn smoothie. Let's deal with the meat and potatoes. But smoothies, no. That's not on the menu, sir or madam. No. So this Ace of Wands is reactionary. It's not a true response. It's not actually, number one, it's not going to work. Because it's not around anything fruitful. You know, it's not around anything that is supportive. It's really being shut out by the panic and the chaos and the crisis of the Ten of Swords, as well as the BS that exists in the Seven of Swords right above it. Seven of Swords is about deception. Seven of Swords is about lying. Seven of Swords is about avoidance and escapism and really underhanded tactics. Now, I don't know, again, what area of your life this is happening in, Gemini, whether it's your personal life, your professional life, your love life, I don't know. But someone here, you or another person, or you and other people, or other people external to you, it's a mixed bag. You all live different lives. Some of you are on the good side and some of you are on the quote-unquote bad side, okay? Regardless of where you fall, somewhere in here is active deception. Active deception. There is purposeful avoidance. There is purposeful what do you call it? Diversion. I did say that here. Like the smoothie. This is the person who's like offering up the smoothies. You know, you're like, let's sit down and deal with the main course here, and this person comes in with a tray of smoothies. Anybody up for some strawberry banana? It's like, no, we're here to discuss such and such, or we're here to eat this meal. You're trying to supplement this meal with a juice, with a blended juice? What are you talking about? It's like, it's a crazy idea, but this person, or this energy of the Seven of Swords, is touting it as like, yes, this is gonna work. This is exactly what you wanted. When you said you wanted a steak and a baked potato with broccoli, what you meant to say was you wanted a kiwi strawberry lime smoothie from the Juice King down the street. And it's like, no, that's not what I ordered at all. Well, this is what you're getting. And it's like, no, that is not satisfactory. That is not what we're after. That is not what we came here to discuss. Or in the case of having a meal, that's not what I came and sat down in this restaurant to eat. If I wanted a damn smoothie, I would have gone to the smoothie bar, but that's not what I want. You know? So this Seven of Swords, you bring it forth or someone else brings it forth. It really doesn't matter in general. But it's sad because in most cases with the Seven of Swords, the lie, the deception, it always comes out. It always comes out. Like in most cases, it just, like people know already, or people will know soon enough, and the truth of the matter will be revealed. So, you know, if it's baby mama drama, baby daddy drama, okay, Charles is not your baby, Charles knows that. Or he will find out soon, or most of the people around Charles know, and they've been hinting, hey, Charles, man, you know how you have blue eyes, and your girl has blue eyes, and you've got red hair, and she's got blonde hair, but that baby has brown eyes and dark hair, like, you know, and Charles is like, What are you trying to say? You know. And then Charles is like, yeah, I know. But what are you trying to say? And it's just like the principle of just tell me what you're trying to say in that case. Like, be a man or be a woman about it and tell me that you don't think that baby is my baby. Just tell me. Something like that. So whatever deeds have been done in the dark will eventually come to light. But this combination of Seven of Swords, Ace of Wands, and a little bit of that Ten of Swords, the whole diversion and, trying to keep a lid on it or trying to divert people's attention and all that kind of shit is kind of for nothing. It's wasted energy. Because again, I told you, this Ace of Wands is not a smart idea in the first place. And it's not supported by the cards around it. It's not going to take shape. It's really outdone by the Seven and the Ten of Swords, really. Because aces are only about potential, right, Gemini? It's the chance, it's the opportunity. It's not a guarantee of success. It's just like I said, the bright idea. Some bright ideas are dim ideas and they need to not come to fruition. And this is one of them, okay? Now, the final card in your spread is the Queen of Wands. Fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. So you could be dealing with a fire sign, but you don't have to be. Who is this? What's going on here? Because I feel most of this has been you. Maybe the High Priestess is someone else. I mean, you're here as well. This is where I'm like, I don't know if Gemini is here. Who is this? Watcher? Okay, that's nice. Some of you are being watched by someone. Are you on parole? Are some of you on parole or something? Or, if you're in a frat or a sorority, don't they have curfews or like house mothers and shit like that? Or if you're on a college campus, this could be, campus security or anybody in authority on a campus. But this is somebody who watches the situation. In some of your cases, it is like a motherly figure or some older female character, older sister, older, cousin. It doesn't really matter. And that's interesting. Like they said, judge. So, okay, in some of your cases, maybe it's a judge. And she's not traditionally a card that is associated with judge courts, but considering in some of your cases, it could be. Now, this person, they could have been a friend of yours, Gemini, but now you guys have kind of turned enemy to one another, circumstantially. Because of the circumstances, the situation at hand, you guys are kind of on opposite sides. Maybe not enemies, but you're on opposite sides. So in the terms of business, where you're making deals with people, contracts are being signed, renegotiated, all that kind of stuff. You may have at some point been in business with the person who's sitting across the table from you that you're having these negotiations with. In terms of like going back to Hollywood, right? You could be a writer or an actor in Hollywood, and you've worked with the director who's sitting across from you like 3 or 4 times before. But now with this new project, you got to renegotiate terms, and there is a little bit, I wouldn't say it's bad blood, but there's a certain sourness between you and this Queen of Wands person. Whether it's purely on your side or on their side, or it's both, it depends. But it feels like this is someone who used to have your back, or you used to have their back, and now it's kind of like, I don't know if I could trust this person anymore. It's mostly a scheme over here, where people are like, oh, that's truly how you feel, or that's truly how you do business. Like, and I don't think that the Ace of Wands is necessarily a shady idea or a manipulative idea, or I think it's just a poorly constructed idea. It's not wise. It's not smart. It's not savvy. It's a diversion. It's a tactic to get away from another more vital situation. Queen of Wands is aware of this move, aware of this idea, and they disapprove. Yeah? And so now there's this sourness. Like, oh, you thought that was smart to do that? Like, why did you do that? Or why would you think that would be okay? So there's something about either mistrust or distrust. And the Queen of Wands suffers no fools. Whether that's you or someone else, I don't know. You guys know your lives better than I do, but the Queen of Wands is just like not having it. Not in the mood for any BS games, not in the mood for any harebrained schemes. She came to the restaurant for steak and potato. She didn't come there for a damn smoothie. She knocks the smoothie out of the way. Bring me my steak and my potato right now, or else you got a lawsuit on your hands. Some shit like that. And again, this whole thing about a judge is probably pertinent to some other situation that has come through a bit here. And I think many of us know what situation that is. But I don't necessarily feel that the Queen of Wands, traditionally in tarot, is considered to be a judge. This person right now is in a place of judgment. This person right now is in a place to kind of make the final decision on something. Like, aha. Remember, I said you were here, or whoever is here in the Two of Swords, Gemini, and they are inflexible, they are indecisive, and they are using the silence or the time before a decision needs to be made as a power move, like they're withholding in order to make a power move. This Queen of Wands sees that and is clocking that and does not accept it, and is in a position to invalidate inaction, meaning force you to make a decision. This is the enforcer of the deadline. You need this to be done by 12 o'clock tomorrow. We need a yes or no by 12 o'clock tomorrow. You do a diversion tactic. This person doesn't care. You just wasted 4 hours of your time doing that little Mickey Mouse crap. You're over there playing games instead of doing what I told you that needs to be done or adhering to the deadline. This person is not bending. They're very much adhering to the rules and the regulations. They're not going to be made a fool of. Okay? Outcome for you, Gemini, in December is the Four of Pentacles. So, in terms of negotiations, I feel that some of you will just like kind of come to an impasse. Meaning, you know, what you want isn't going to be feasible. What the other side wants isn't necessarily feasible. And you both kind of walk away with what you came in with, okay? So in terms of that Hollywood deal, you're hoping to work with this director or writer or actor. Nah, it's not happening. You can't meet eye to eye on this. So the project is scrapped. Or, you know, someone moves off of the project, you know, okay? If you don't want to take on the role, if you don't want to do these things, then we'll find someone else to play the role. Or you don't want to, you can't do this because we, you know, the budget would be too much. We'll get a director who can do it for cheaper. Something like that. So this walk away with what you kind of came in with. That's good in many of your cases because I feel whatever decision needed to be made or needs to be made still, there's a chance to quote unquote lose something. This Four of Pentacles is not giving me the impression that anybody is losing anything. It's giving me the impression that everybody can kind of go back to business as usual. You know, we'll kind of forget this whole thing ever happened sort of energy. This could involve some type of conversation because you see the man and the woman there. I feel like information is exchanged. I feel that in some cases a confession is made. And so, you know how sometimes, oh right, that's another word that we use in like legal shows and like crime dramas, plea bargain, right? If some of you have something going on with the judicial system, some of you have something going on in terms of charges coming up against you, you might cop a plea deal, okay? Or someone around you cops a plea deal, okay? And it's not as if you get off scot-free, but you certainly are not going to go down or be punished to the highest extent of the law. Listen, some of y'all know what this is, and that's news. We'll see. Anyway, so this Four of Pentacles is really getting to hold on to what you already have. I don't feel much of a penalization happening here. I don't feel people are paying high debts, or I don't feel that people are necessarily losing out on too much, but it's not a gain. That's the point. Nothing is gained, especially in terms of money. As we're talking about pentacles, nothing is gained. There's nothing monetarily beneficial going on here with the outcome. Anything else? Yeah, and that upsets some people because I mean, look at the demeanor of the woman. Head down. Maybe she's ashamed. Maybe she's embarrassed. Maybe she's pissed because she didn't, you know, get that contract deal that she wanted. She was going to make, you know, $15 million if she was able to be put in that movie. Well, If you had better negotiation tactics, maybe you would have, but you wanted to put smoothies on the table. So no contract for you, ma'am. Something like that. Anyway, your overall energy, Gemini, is the Hermit, major arcana for Virgo. So there could be a Virgo in your life of significance, but doesn't have to be. Listen, overall, and I remember this from like a few months ago, and not this card, but more the energy of what I feel, which is Gemini, Gemini, Gemini. You or someone around you or someone who has been in your energy in terms of the tarot readings that I've done for you guys has been on this spiritual journey or is needing to get on with it, because there has been throughout the year of 2019, from what I recall, in a general feeling is that there has been deception and lies and, you know, all kinds of not necessarily above board energies or behaviors or tactics that have been around you. And I have always, well, not, maybe I can't say always because I don't remember everything, but I feel there have been some readings where I have encouraged you, or I've encouraged whoever is in your energy to kind of stop that and get to a place of healing and get to this place of quote unquote righteousness. And I don't mean to use that word in any insulting way or any condescending way, but that's what this feels like. The Hermit is a card of, how can I say it? Of an internal journey towards a healthier way of being, basically. The Hermit isn't a healer per se. Like, the Hermit diagnoses. You know how when you go to, like, here, you'll go to your primary doctor, right? Your general doctor. And let's say you have an issue with your bones, right? Your doctor's just a general doctor. They can, you know, tap you on your knee. They can assess that you have pain or something in your joints. But in order to get like a full diagnosis, you have to go to a specialist. You know, you have to go to a specialized doctor that studies bones or studies joint pain or works with arthritis specifically, something like that. Your general doctor will be able to tell you, well, this is what I think you have. Here are the treatments that I think we should, you know, go with, but it's your decision. I can prescribe you this for now. That could alleviate some of your symptoms, but ultimately you will need to see a specialist in order to correct what's wrong with you, right? So that's what the Hermit is. Just a general doctor. I can assess you. I can see that you're in pain. I can see that you don't feel well. I can, you know, based on the symptoms that you're describing and what I'm seeing here in my little office visit with you, this is what I think. Go see the specialist. That's what the Hermit is. The Hermit highlights what you need to take care of. Doesn't offer to heal it for you, doesn't offer the solution directly, but just tells you, you messed up over here. This is what you need to fix. That's what that lantern is about. I'm showing you. I'm highlighting it to you. I'm shedding a light on it. Now, Gemini, what, again, I feel has gone on for many of your readings, if not most of the readings I've done for you in 2019, it's been shady business, shady dealing, shady behavior, shady beliefs. Sometimes you've been all right, or someone around you has been all right, but if I'm honest, what I feel, and I could be wrong because I don't watch my own shit back, but I feel tonally, thematically, Gemini has had an issue with doing the right thing versus the wrong thing. And more often than not, the wrong thing has been preferred, or the less desirable thing has been preferred. I am nobody's moral compass. I'm not here to tell you what right and wrong is for you or for her or him or anybody else. But there has been this feeling of taking the shortcuts, cutting corners, you know, trying to get over on people. That energy has been, at least for the readings that I've done for Gemini in 2019, that has been around regularly. You do with that what you wish. It's a new year, 2020, right around the corner. So, you know, maybe, you know, have a resolution or two. I don't know. But Gemini, that is your reading for December 2019. If you liked it, if you have something to enjoy here, go ahead and hit the like button. You can also leave me a comment. Let me know how this resonated in your life. I love to read those. You can also share this video across your social media platforms. Let other people know you like my stuff. And of course, guys, subscribe. If you have not subscribed already, that would be amazing. Gemini, I will be back soon to do your mid-Decembers. I'm also going to do the no communications reading, which Gemini, I did that back in September, and your reading got the most. I don't know if that trend would continue, but that was one of the most successful videos I've ever had on my channel, so I'm going to bring that reading back in December. That's for people who are not in communication with you, so if you want to cross-watch that, you can. I don't know. But anyway, that's coming back in December, and I'm also soon gonna go live for Sagittarius. I don't see Sag here except for maybe the Queen of Wands, but if you know you're dealing with a Sagittarius, feel free to drop in for their live reading in about a week or two, and just, you know, sit around and eat some popcorn and listen to the drama of somebody else's life for a change, maybe, huh? All right, Gemini, I thank you guys so much for watching this video tonight. I really do appreciate it. Take care. Bye.